Work for Ring of Honor, Bar Wrestling, GCW, PCW, DCW, XCW, BCW, and TCW. Ultra, and a few others that end in CW, surprisingly enough.
Wow.
Yes.
Wouldn't have guessed. Gotta love it. Good for Chris Bay. This is good for him. I honestly can say I don't know anything about this young upstart. But he seems to have a little bit behind him, and Impact has him signed down. He can only learn
to
from Impact.
Start saying Bebe, but spell it that way.
Well, that's how Adam Cole sells it.
B-A-Y. This is B-E-Y.
I think it's B-E-Y.
No, I don't think so.
Well, look it up.
Could be wrong. I will.
But I think it's, even if he doesn't become an Impact superstar, this is going to be a good place for him to build a name and move on if he wants to. But Paystee, somebody who doesn't
Adam Cole is B-A-Y.
Okay. Somebody who doesn't have to build a name for themselves, Colonel Robert Parker.
Yes, Colonel Sanders, my favorite.
Many of you may know him from his Jump Rope Academy. And we're not talking about Jump Rope for Heart here, folks. We're talking about the legends of this man's cock is that women used to jump rope with it, is how big it is. So, hello! He is returning to Major League Wrestling. The famed manager, who isn't famed for his managerial skills.
They need new ring ropes,
from
what I heard.
Exactly. The man hasn't been seen in the promotion since 2018 when his, quote, stud stable, hello, came up short in that year's Battle Riot event. Parker will be at MLW's Intimidation Games from Chicago's Cicero Stadium on April 18th this year, 2020.
Woo!
And you know what? I think I just have to say it again. Hello!
Hello! That's not all. MLW also announced this week that international indie star Zachary Cooper has signed with the company. The 6'3", 267-pound, 22-year-old Tampa, Florida native graduated from FAU, where he played football. Yes, football.
Football.
He also has a background in kickboxing. Court Bauer had this to say about the Blue Chip Beast. Zachary Cooper is a throwback to the days of the big men that Bruno Sammartino battled.
Isn't that kind of a backhanded compliment? Like, he didn't say a throwback to Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah.
A throwback to the men that Bruno beat the shit out of.
There was a lot of guys that didn't add up to much back then. He's big and dumb and can't talk well.
Yeah. The big men that Bruno beat in the ring. That's what he's a throwback
to. Bushwhackers. That's the word I was looking for.
The old sheep herders. We like the sheep herders.
Mix in a state-of-the-art arsenal and the agility of a luchador, and you have a new era heavyweight. Cooper could very well be the next big thing in the sport. Cooper will make his MLW debut on Saturday, April 18th at Intimidation Games 2020 in Chicago. I can't wait to see that pay-per-view. It's going to be all cutting promos in each other's faces and no payoff.
There you go.
That's what it's got to be, right? There can be no interaction. It's just 2 hours of wrestlers intimidating each other.
I think it should be.
Yes. Sammy Callahan's got to be on that card.
I think he should be. Along with Joey Ryan.
What it is a battle royal where you just have to convince the other people to throw themselves over the top rope because they don't want to know what you'll do to them. Yeah.
Just flex on the fuckers. Just flex on them. But Paystee, you know what? Intimidation Games 2020, they're not intimidated by you. They've got even more news. We've got more more signings, more appearances, and more wrestlers making an impact at this event. And none other than Pagano will make his MLW debut at Intimidation Games on April 18th. MLW announced this week that the hardcore luchador is promising to bring mayhem to the company. We don't know if that's just destruction or if that's a young woman of his. We haven't found out yet. Pagano currently works in Mexico for the AAA promotion. Of course, we've talked in the past how MLW is working with AAA to bring some of their workers over and for per appearance contracts, not long-term contracts, which I think is awesome. He originally worked in and around his hometown of Juarez, Chihuahua, but in recent years has worked throughout the Mexican independent circuit before joining AAA in 2016. His ring name, for those of you gringos, is Spanish for pagan, and he is a former Texas hardcore heavyweight champion and AAA tag team champion with Alamacias of Impact Wrestling fame. He was also Mil Muertes in Lucha Underground.
Lucha, that's what I was going to say. I know him from there.
Yeah. So this is cool. This is a good, they keep making strides with the AAA promotion. I think that's badass. Pagano adds a good hardcore element, which works with a lot of MLW's wrestlers right now. You got Jimmy Havoc, you got Sami Callihan, you've got more than them, but that's what I'm coming up with right now. What's the English dude's name? You got him too.
The English, Johnny English.
Johnny English, exactly. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I worked myself into a research frenzy talking about battle royals of Intimidation, and I had to go find what was the longest battle royal in history. I don't know that I believe this, but this is the E-Wrestling Encyclopedia, claiming that RCW had the longest battle royale in 2002, but it's only 1 hour and 9 minutes long.
I don't know.
1 hour and 9 minutes does not seem very long for a battle.
I know that there was a multi-man tag match in Ring of Honor that lasted 2 hours.
Yeah. See, I just envisioned there's got to be like some kind of crazy, huge battle royal that lasted at least 24 hours. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, 24 hours? No, I couldn't even imagine that.
No?
No, I don't think that's even feasible.
4? I think 4 is feasible. You'd think that would be a thing that somebody would try to achieve.
Probably not. Don't give WWE the idea. Hello.
It's got to happen. I want it to happen now. Damn it.
Oh, what else do we got, Paystee?
Oh, Shelton Benjamin sat down with Lillian Garcia on Chasing Glory and revealed, yes, I just re-signed another multi-year deal with WWE, matey. So I'll be here for a little while. And then he pointed at the WrestleMania sign. And that was the end of the interview.
All right.
Yes.
Well, on that subject, MVP appeared on Booker T's Hall of Fame podcast and confirmed his role within WWE, saying, quote, I'm going to go ahead and give you the scoop.
Oh,
MVP
no voice?
told Booker.
Shelton Benjamin was a pirate. MVP is just a white guy.
Yeah. What, white guy?
I thought you were
racist.
doing white guy.
Whether or not I'll be seen on WWE television more has yet to be seen because I don't make those decisions. I would definitely make myself available for an on-screen role in some capacity, but I will be joining the team as a backstage producer. There's your scoop.
Yeah. He's been in a couple matches since he returned at the Rumble, and it hasn't been very pretty. It looks to me like it hurts him a whole lot to take a bump. So it's probably better that he's not in the ring. Although they've had him doing his what is it, the VIP section show on Raw again.
Maybe his MVP section?
I think so, something like that. But either way, it's interesting having him back and realizing that's right, he was kind of annoying and not that great in the first place.
Oh, I have to disagree. Anybody who's watched him actually wrestle, I bet you he could wrestle circles around 95% of the roster today. That guy knows how to actually go out and wrestle a match and put on a badass show.
I'll give it that. But his time in WWE was not well used very much ever. He had a good little run
it wasn't.
The title, but beyond
But if you go and watch his Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling stuff, you see
that was
a
all
badass
after WWE
wrestler.
too, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And you'll see somebody who put on just awesome, amazing matches. So I disagree with that.
Well, all my time spent with him was in WWE. And I did appreciate him back then, and I still appreciate him because of that today. It's just like, yeah, there was that part of me that didn't like him.
Can we just appreciate the fact that the guy is a convicted felon and he went on to make something of his life and do something?
That's always a good thing.
We talked about Booker T, earlier. And
so there is hope for my brother, but
personal issues.
Ooh,
yeah.
Airing laundry on the podcast.
So, it is awesome even just for that somebody like him actually got up and out of the world he was in and has literally made something of himself that's positive. We like that.
Yes. Hopefully he does well as a producer.
Yeah. We also like the UFC, Paystee.
Do we?
I do.
I guess. UFC Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz could be doing business with WWE in the very near future. PW Insider reports that Ortiz visited the Performance Center over several days as something of an introductory meeting, so Tito and WWE could feel each other up and see if the two sides might be able to work together down the line. Ortiz, a lifelong pro wrestling fan, reportedly did some training in the ring and familiarized himself with the WWE system while he was there. ESPN noted their sources say Ortiz did well in his training at the Performance Center and is being described very much as let's feel each other up kind of situation. He was also compared to Dwayne Johnson's daughter and said that their work rate is right about on par.
And that their face looked similar.
They kind of do both give me nightmares a little bit.
Ouch. Ouch. Paystee, why would you say something like that? That is uncalled for, Paystee. Uncalled for.
It's being described very much...
Uncalled for!
I already read that sentence anyway. The 45-year-old Tito made a few appearances for Impact Wrestling over the years, last appearing in 2013 during the Aces and Eights storyline. Ortiz also had a Combate Americas MMA fight last December against none other than Mexico's greatest export, Alberto El Patron, which Ortiz won. So he's not that great of an export after all.
Well, let's be honest.
It was in Mexico.
Is he Mexico's greatest export if he's in Mexico?
Yeah, he's not big in Mexico.
He's
but
not
they're able to
exported.
sell him to America pretty well. Those
like
idiots.
everything else. We don't really want it in Mexico, but go ahead. Take it to the States.
Here, take some water, too.
Take the water. All you want. Go ahead. It's on me.
And Ortiz expressed an interest in pursuing a wrestling career back then. Velasquez is said to be feeling completely healthy and will be working at the PC for the next 2 weeks as well. Why was I talking about Tito Ortiz the whole time and then Velasquez at the end?
I don't know where the
What
Velasquez
happened?
came from, but
It's hurting my brain.
I think that was supposed to be Ortiz somehow got changed.